Ringville episode Ruthless Lala. Hey, what's up everyone? How you doing? My name is Kevin Herrera Sanchez, KHS, and welcome to another episode of Ringville. Today I have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with somebody who's wrestled for We Are Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Magic, Battle Club, Westside Extreme Wrestling, Combat Zone Wrestling, Remarkable Wrestling. She is one half of the current Pro Wrestling Magic Unified Tag Team Champions, the First Lady of Prolific, Miss What That Lariat Do, Ruthless Lala.
Yo, thank you, man. I'm really excited to be here. I'm a little giddy. I've been saying for the longest, I always wanted to have like those sit down. Don't get me wrong. I love to do the ones, where it's on video. I don't have to move, but everybody look like those video ones. They have so much fun, and I don't be included, and I be sad.
Dang. Well,
but I'm happy.
Exactly. You giddy. I'm giddy too. Fuck it. Like, what you mean? Like, come on. We're here. Well, thank you very much for taking the time and sitting down with me.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm really honored to be here. Thank you.
My heart. I appreciate it.
We'll stop it.
Nah, come on. No, that's crazy. And came blessing us with the title. Like,
it's the Pro Wrestling Magic World Tag Team Champions. You can't leave out the world, Craig. The world. Everybody see how it says world. World. Okay.
One of the first things I wanted to talk to you about was 20 plus year career.
Yes.
What do you think, in your opinion, is one of the reasons you have thrived in those 20 plus years?
There's nobody else like me, I really wish that I could give you a better answer, but I believe this is the first time that I'm going to ever respectfully talk my shit. There ain't nobody like me, I've been around for a very long time before thick women was even was a thing. You feel me? If you wasn't skinny or, overly muscular, you know what I'm saying? And you wasn't flat stomach, people automatically called you fat, or you're unhealthy and you're obese, you shouldn't be wrestling. So, that was a lot of one of the things that I took into context is there's a lot of people in wrestling, but there's no Ruthless Lala. There's only one Ruthless Lala. And there's going to always be one Ruthless Lala, one Miss What That Lariat Do, one First Lady of Prolific. That's me. It ain't going to change. People hate my face. Get used to it. You're going to keep seeing me. Camera angles, both of them. I like that. I'm having too much fun with that.
I'm going to be cutting between both.
I can't wait to see this. But yeah, anytime that I get to the point where I feel like that, maybe I don't matter and maybe, I should just stop. I remember that phone call that I had with Awesome Kong when I was in my 5-year mark and I wanted to quit because, all the, it's so crazy because it's like I have this reputation, but it's a reputation off of sissies, lies, and deception, And so it's like, oh, Lala, she hurts people and, she's unsafe and all this. And I'm like, I would believe that. I really would believe that. But I'm like, I haven't been. Maybe if you tell these people that you try to put me against the promoter's girlfriends and like the ring rats of the, the groups or whatever, like it was very rough for me coming up into wrestling. And when the women don't want to wrestle me and, they run their mouth. Oh, she's unsafe. She hurts people. And I refused to wrestle her. I got to the point to where I was like, maybe this ain't for me. And my mentor, Hugh Rogue, I love him so much. I'll never forget. He knew how much I idolized Awesome Kong. And he made it possible for me to talk to her. And we talked on the phone for like 2 hours. And I remember the one thing that stood out to me, she told me, she's like, don't let anybody run you away from your dream. She's like, and on top of it, you can't quit. She's like, there ain't enough thick black women in this business. She's like, so you got to keep going. And I did, and I stayed in it. 10 years after that, I ended up wrestling her at my 15-year mark. She's been a sweetheart, and so that's been kind of one of the things that literally kept me grounded and kept me going because people can do a lot of things, but can't nobody do it how I do it. Everybody got their lariat, but can't nobody throw a lariat like Lala throw a lariat. Everybody got their sentons, can't nobody throw a senton like Lala, hell, even a sliced bread. And like a lot of people gonna look at this and be like, sliced bread? Yes. My thick ass do a sliced bread. And then we're not talking about the assistant when you're running through the corner like Samurai Del Sol. Salute to that man. I watched him so much And it was just so clean of how he did the sliced bread in the middle and just jumped. And I was like, I can do that. Yeah. And I was doing it for a second, but then it wasn't really getting how it was supposed to be getting, because people just didn't know how to, catch thick ass meat in the air. So I was just like, I don't know. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna stay with it. And it's gotten to the point now to where I do it. Like, people are not used to it. Like, the East Coast is not used to what the people in the South is used to, because that's where I'm from. So
Texas, right?
Yes, Texas. I was born in Dallas, Texas, Parkland Hospital to be exact. Residing now in Killeen, Texas. But it's one of those things where it's like, I have some stuff in the bag, and every now and then I like to bring it out. And so when I did, and my best friend, Isaiah Wolf, shout out to him. He's here in spirit. I was like, yo, that's a sliced bread. He was like, nah, that's Texas toast. So now, shout out to the gift god Hoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, him and Wolf get together, and all these names they come up with, two slices of Texas toast. I'm just like, guys, so it's like, I have friends. Yeah. I have that originality, that authenticity that nobody else has. And honestly, if I didn't have those things, I don't feel like I would still be wrestling or keep pushing to try to get to that main goal. So those are the essential things that, that keeps me pushing and trying to, get to that next level.
Absolutely. And then you mentioned how when you were first starting, there was not too many black thick women.
Thick women.
Thick with two C's, No.
No. Shout out to I can't call him White Mike no more, because he got promoted to Black Mike. So shout out to Black Mike. Nah, like it's quadruple C's. Yeah. You gotta put you have to understand the thickness of like, you gotta damn near spit on somebody. We say, I like
cold oatmeal thick.
Yeah. Cold peanut butter.
No, that's crazy.
Out the freezer thick.
You break your spoon, Like. That's thick. You said it was not too many thick black women in wrestling. Right. Was there any hesitation to join wrestling because of that?
No. Not even one. No? Nah, I literally, I led a very sheltered life. My mom's a minister, and she was in the army. Like, I tell people this all the time. My mom is probably the only person that can kill me and resurrect me at the same time, because, her and God are like besties, she can call him. I'm like, hey, can you call God and ask him when my blessings come? And she's like, you gonna stop playing? I said, but you and him go back like a Cadillac on 4 flats. She hates it, but I love it. So for me, it's different, because I didn't get to have fun when other people had fun. I was inside, or, I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do this, or this was the devil, or that was against the religion, So it was a lot. So minding me, some kid that's going and looking on the TV that they shouldn't be looking at because they should be asleep. And then, wait, why are they in the ring? Are they fighting? No, this is not boxing. This is, where's their gloves? Did I just watch an attempted murder on TV? And then people saw it? What is this? I think I'm going to go to sleep now. And went to sleep and woke up and was on a binge search to try to figure out what was it that I just watched. Because I had no idea. Yeah. And then when I found out it was wrestling, I was like, oh. But after the first time I saw wrestling, I was already hooked. I couldn't stay away. And it just kept getting worse and worse. The more I just kept getting deep and deep and deep into wrestling. And now, here we are.
What are the next steps for you to then start training in wrestling?
Well, one was trying to get my mom to be okay with that. That was the one. When I told her that, hey, Mom, guess what? Remember when I said I wanted to be a doctor? Nah, fuck that. I want to be a wrestler. Oh, she was not okay with it at all. And then at the same time, I'm her only child, so I understand. Where the discord comes from. I was like, yo, it's something I want to do. I really think that I can do it really well, because, people always tell me I'm always a character. So after I told my mom I'm a wrestler, and she gave me a little right. It was, okay, bet. I went to PCW, Professional Championship Wrestling, which was in Arlington, Texas. That's where I met Lance Hoyt, BJ Turner, Sexy Steve DeMarco, Mace Malone, Aaron Eagle, Charlie Haas, Keith Lee, before he became Keith Lee, Athena before she was Athena. I got to meet a lot of people and like got to see a lot of people growth, and I knew that just off of how the people were there, like I wanted to be there, and I started training. And in my brain, I'm like, oh, this is, I watched Tough Enough. Me thinking like, oh, I've seen where they show, I got this. And I did have it, but when I went home, my body was hurt. Like I had bruises. I thought the ring tried to like assault me. Like, I remember being in the bathroom, I'm like, do I want this anymore? This hurts more than my mom whooping my ass. I don't want this. And I was like, we're going to sleep and think about it. I went to sleep, man. I woke up and I found myself getting up real early and trying to find something I needed to make sure everything was good, because like I was ready. And I knew that no matter what anybody tried to throw at me, I wasn't going to stop. And they made my life a living hell. They did. Like I wrestling and the real world, people feel like, it's the same, but it's very different, because people automatically see Ruthless Lala, and that's what they expect all the time. Not understanding that, pulling back the curtain some, that I'm Tanya. Like Tanya leaves Tanya at the door before she walks into wrestling, and then Ruthless takes over. And sometimes that's the problem with a lot of wrestlers. And I can just hear Wolf say this now. They don't know how to turn it off. Like they just constantly going. And that's the thing about it. People don't know the difference between reality and fantasy. It's went from being a thin line to where now it's a blurred line, and it's like, it's good at sometimes, but it's not good at sometimes, but for me, it's like a situation of, I knew that in order for me to get where I needed to get to, I was going to deal with a lot. And I'm so used to like shooting the shit, having a conversation, us joking with each other. And so when they did that in wrestling and I defended myself, I was just defending myself, because like somebody said something. I remember it. I can't, what? Fuck it. We're going to tell the story. So I was in training and I was dealing with Lance Hoyt at that time. And I remember it was Jessica James as well. She was Jessica Shaw. She was in there, and I don't know how we got on it, but he's like, yeah, just do it like Jeff Hardy. And she was like, who's Jeff Hardy? And he was like, are you serious? She's like, I have no idea who that is. Yeah. He's like, well, damn. She's like, but I know who Lance Hoyt is. He's like, well, damn, great. It made me feel good. I was like, who the fuck is Lance Hoyt? And I didn't know that I said it out loud. And you just see everybody turn around like, I was like, I had to do blow up drills. It got to the point to where in their eyes, I was being disrespectful. But for me, I don't feel like I was being disrespectful, because you tried to roast me. I hang out with my homeboys, you know what I'm saying? We roast each other. Like I'm built for this shit, Right. So I could see if you told me to go do something and I didn't do it, that's disrespectful. But you tried to roast me and thought you was gonna get the last laugh. I ain't having that. You know what I'm saying? And it never got better. Like I never shut the fuck up, which is like, a lot of people say that about me. I don't care. But because it's like, I'm vocal. And that's why people can never say, oh, well, Lala never communicate. Like I'm vocal and I let it be known, like what it is. Which is probably why for a time I could smoke cigarettes and still do cardio and not get blown up, because all I did was blow up drills like every day for fucking training. That's all it was. So, it's one of those things where it's like, I didn't know that they considered that as being disrespectful. I just looked at that as defending myself. Long story short, it ended with me finishing my training and everything with Sexy Steve DeMarco. He has been very instrumental to my life. He was also the right hand man to Booker T at Reality of Wrestling for a while. He was over like character development and stuff like that and everything. So I had a good trainer. I'm very happy. I'm very happy that he distilled the wrestling knowledge and psychology and storytelling and the basic fundamentals. So I can be where I'm at today.
Right. People always told you were a character, and How important is the character aspect to wrestling, in your opinion?
If you don't have a character, why are you wrestling? Sometimes you gotta put your dick on the table and be like, this is who I am. This is how I am. Whether you like it or you don't like it, I'm gonna be me. And that's the thing with a lot of wrestlers sometimes, even when they get signed, you know, like sometimes they're so conflicted on trying to be something else that they're not, instead of just not understanding that, look, if you would have just been yourself off the rip, probably would have been a lot easier, you know, instead of trying to be something that you're not. You feel me? So like having a character is something that you need that is relatable to the fans. If the fans cannot relate with you, like anybody can be athletic. Anybody can go get on a treadmill, you know? Anybody can like bust their ass to be athletic. But can you wrestle? Can you be relatable? You feel me?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people didn't like me wrestling men, or there's like people like, oh, well, I'm against intergender and all this other stuff. But when I get in the ring with a man, it's believable. It's relatable. I give men and women hope that whether you're small, whether you're short, whether you're tall, whether, you know, you're not everybody's cup of tea, at the end of the day, as long as you love you and you rocking to the beat of your own drum, fuck everybody else, bro. You know, but that character, you have to have character, because there has to be something that the fans can relate to. You have to be relatable. And if you're not relatable, it's just like, you're just a great wrestler who, that's it. You know, you're just a great wrestler. Yeah. So for me, having a character was everything. And I went through oh my God. I went through the motions. I had so many phases of my Ruthless Lala era. Shit was horrible. Yo, I mean, like the worst one that I remember because like I got to the point where I just wanted to be part of a solution. And I remember the worst fucking gimmick that would have ever been given to me was Cam Lala.
Cam Lala?
What does that sound like to you?
Cam Lala.
You know what? I'm not even gonna have you guess because we ain't gonna go through it. Pretty much, I look like the sister of Kamala. Grass skirts. The whole. That was the first time that after that happened, I knew that I never wanted to show my body again. Cause like it was like the stomach was out, like it was like I had like the compression shorts and like a fucking sports bra. That's it. And then you got like the tree stuff that they didn't got from Hobby Lobby, and we done glue stuff together, and I'm looking like one of the missing members from the Mohicans, or you know, or from a slap-a-hole tribe. Ain't no telling at this point. And it's like, I didn't like it.
What was that like process for you, and like figuring out aspects of the character that you felt comfortable in?
It took a while because I'm a tomboy. You feel me? So trying to put makeup on and talk about t-shirt, like, you know, heels and all the girly shit, that's not me. So for me, it was I just want to be a person to just walk in and fuck up people. You know what I mean? Like all of my wrestling that I used to watch was Japanese wrestling. So Great Muta, Kenta Kobashi, Kenta, Minoru Suzuki, Hamada, Aja Kong, Bull Nakano. Like those are the people that like I watched, you know, coming up. Like I would sit down and I was watching Dragon Gate, and people was like, what the fuck are you watching Dragon Gate for? Like, you're not a cruiserweight. Like, why are you watching Dragon? Because I like watching Dragon Gate, bro. Like, I can still learn things, you know? So for me, it was hard, bro. Like I went through phases. So I was like, maybe this, because it was like the second I started doing something, it was like, no, you shouldn't do that. You should be makeup galore and showing off your tits and your ass, because if you don't do that, you know, I can't book you. And I'm just like, I feel like this is not how wrestling should be, you know? And so it just got to a point to where I didn't know what I wanted to do with my character. I didn't. I just know I didn't want it to be anything that went against my morals.
Okay.
You know, and so I became like a sponge. Because like every promotion and every place that I went, even when I was in Texas, I just took pieces from everywhere. Pieces, piece. Put it in my jar, shook that motherfucker up, grinded it up, you know what I'm saying, put it in the blender, made a nice ass smoothie of a whole bunch of knowledge and things that I've learned throughout my wrestling career and just be watching, you know, wrestling, whether it was independent wrestling, whether it was Dragon Gate or New Japan Pro Wrestling, whatever it was, I was locked in. And I would watch, all right, you know what, maybe I should try that. Maybe, you know what, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do this. This is not working. Then I was in my Crow phase to where I love Brandon Lee. I love the Crow. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to do that. And I came out looking like I had like a whole emo moment. And I was like, I wasn't even that impressed, I don't think.
You just look back like, maybe, was it?
Like, you know what, at this point, maybe. Yeah. I had like the long hair, bro. Like my hair, like I combed all of my hair up. Got the Gorilla Glue. So I had like the fucking rock star fucking mohawk.
The fucking, yeah.
And shit is up. I had like a shirt like this, like the all black sleeve with like this. Yo, I was so stuck between the Crow and Jeff Hardy. I don't know who the fuck I wanted to be. I just know it was gonna be different.
Crow Hardy, you know.
Crow Hardy just so yeah, no, it took a lot. And it took me getting out of Texas because trying to ask for help on trying to learn how to move forward and you're not getting it, you know, it's like, I can't do that. Like, I need help. I need people who have been there to give me the bullet points. I don't want you to give me a handout. I don't want you to go into, I want you to just tell me, point me in the direction of where I need to go, and I do everything else, you know? So it just got really depressing trying to find out who I am, but yet I couldn't get out of Texas. And then Jesus Rodriguez, I love him to death. I ended up meeting him. I had the honor of meeting him. And I remember we rode around the ring and he was like, why you not places? Like, people don't like me. You know? And he was like, well, you know, I've asked about you and I've heard nothing but nice things. I was like, really? Who? He's like, yo, you don't understand, but like, I went through so much. Like, people were like, oh, why does Lala have a reputation? And like, why do they, you know, call it that? Because my trainer, he had this show. They would go to like certain promotions and they would, you know, talk to people. Like before it even became big. And he was just like, hey, what's your opinion on what's wrong with women's wrestling in Texas? And it was nothing that nobody is. I just spoke as what I've seen, right, which was women were sucking and, you know, just like, I'm trying not to curse that much, but they were sucking and fucking, you know, to get booked. And it was just guys born where like, yo, I want people that say they want this and they want to work. You know what I'm saying? Not know, well, if I flaunt my boobs, am I a champion? Like, if I can show I go out with you, am I a champion? No, bro, like, why should I have to work hard and bust my ass to get to that next level? And all you gotta do is just bust it wide open. You're a superstar and you're a women's champion. So a lot of people didn't like that in Texas. And then I started getting blackballed, or as they try to say, I was blackballed. A lot of promoters didn't want to book me because, oh, well, she says, you know, women's just out here sucking. They were. Like, and then I heard like some of the women that thought it was about them. You know, you always know. It's like they say, if it don't apply, let it fly. They didn't let that fly. They let all of that apply to them. So it was like, you know, when I did get the shows, I got the shows, but then at the same time, it was like, I've never been part of the in crowd. Not even when I was in school, I was a part of the in crowd. I was always the nerd, you know, the tomboy nerd.
Yeah. In 2023, you made the PWI 500 wrestlers in the world. You were number 467. What does that mean to you? I
remember, like, when I was a kid, and I would even to this day, if I go home, there's a box of every Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine that I got thus far, and I kept them. You know, I kept every last one of them. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be in that magazine one of these days. I don't know when. I'm gonna be in it. And man, sure enough, I remember something was like, just look and see, bro. I was like, I'm gonna look. And then as I started getting to like the last 3 pages, I start to feel tears getting ready to like, you know, hit my eyes because I'm like, I could have sworn I went hard this year. Like I could have sworn I went hard last year. Like I could have sworn like I brought it. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just, you know what, regardless, bro, we're going to keep our head up, you know. Mm-hmm. And then got to that second page. Screenshot. And then like I said, like before I even posted it, I sent it in the Prolific chat, and I was like, yo, I made it. And I didn't even, before like the second it was Saw, my best friend, Wolf, he went on every social media. My motherfucking best friend made PWI. And I was like, you know, like I was mad excited. And it was great because when they came out with the women's, the 250, yeah. I didn't make that. And it was so funny because me and Sawyer, and I love her, Sawyer, I love you, boo-boo. Me and Sawyer was on the phone, and I was telling him, I was like, yo, like, it would have been nice to win the, you know, be in the women one, you know what I mean? And she was like, yeah, I found out that the only way you get in the women's one is you have to wrestle like a certain amount of women. I was like, that's stupid. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm a fucking female. Like, why I just can't be on that bitch? Right. Like, you know, like I'm a female to beat up women and dudes. Like, it counts. And I was like, and then I found myself getting bummed, and I stopped and said, wait, there are a lot of women that be in these fucking PWI 500s. And I was like, the women that are in here, this is good. I mean, you know, hey, I may not be in the top 15, and I may not be in the top 20, but at the end of the day, you can't mention Roman Reigns, Swerve Strickland, and like half of the end guys without mentioning Ruthless Lala. I'm on that same list. You feel me? Right. Whereas at the bottom, you're going to acknowledge the tribal chief, and you're going to acknowledge the first lady of Prolific, respectfully. Mm-hmm. You know, so I was like, you know what? Great. And, you know, it was kind of sad that I didn't get the, you know, the support that I thought I was going to get from it because of other things, you know. And so I got bummed, but these guys, you know, they wouldn't let me stay like that. It's like, yo, fuck that. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to get it better. I was like, you're right, you know. And I just, it was unreal. Nobody can ever take it from me. Right. Because, you know, that's something that I got because I busted my ass, you know. And so with that, I'm massively happy.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Of course, absolutely. It's like 500 wrestlers. How many wrestlers out there in the world? I don't know.
A plethora.
Right. Oh, nice word.
A plethora. Yeah. There's a plethora of wrestlers. That's why when I didn't make it the next year and my best friend made it, I was like, let's go. So it was, yeah. We're coming back. We're going to spin the block.
There you go.
PWI, I'm coming for you.
You mentioned Prolific a few times. You are the first lady of Prolific.
Yes.
What can you tell me about Prolific in the sense of who you are, what you represent, and what do you want to do in the wrestling industry?
When it comes to Prolific, and like, you're going to love these camera cuts. And if I don't get it right, Wolf is going to fuck me up. So when it comes to Prolific, we are self-made. We get paid. And after we whoop that ass, we play spades. I did it. And that's our motto. Uh-huh. You look at this group and you ask people what do they see, you know, they're gonna probably say, oh, well, I see, you know, a couple of delinquent loudmouths, you know, who you can't tell anything to. And that would be just because people want to judge a book by its cover. You know, I see 4 like-minded individuals. But even though we can butt heads at certain times, we're always on the same page. And the page is to get the bag. And after you get the bag, you get the gold. And when you get the gold, you get the drip set. And when you get the drip set, yo, anything is possible! You know, so I've had my share of being in groups. I've had my own group. Mm-hmm. You know, I was the only black woman in a group called the Drunken Rednecks. Confederate flags. I'm gonna show you the pictures later.
That's crazy.
Like,
nah, hold up. What?
Yo, when I tell you, I was Confederate flagged the fuck up. It was ridiculous. I was like, yo, you gonna give me something? I'm about to take this shit to the limit. Drunken rednecks. Yo,
no, that's crazy.
Yo, I had a bandana. I had it on my face. Mm-hmm. I had it over my head. I had it hanging out my back pocket. Drunken rednecks.
Nah, that's wild.
Nothing ever happened to me. Like, it was the greatest shit ever. So, like, I've had my share of groups, and be dead ass honest as possible. I remember when he came up to me, and I had just returned to wrestling, March 19th, 2022. I just returned because I was out because of my chronic skin disease. And I came back, and I was at BCW, and he came through to show love. And then I stayed an extra day because I wanted to go to support him at Pro Wrestling R because he was wrestling. And I finally wanted to see him wrestle live because we've been best friends for 10 years, going on 11 years. You know, it was just, I was in Texas. Mm-hmm. He was here. I was in Atlanta. He was here. You know, I traveled around. He was here. So, you know, and it was so hard to get up here. So when I finally did get up here, he was like, yo, it was supposed to happen before the pandemic, but, you know, you got sick and everything, you know, but, you know, I want you to be the first lady of Prolific. And I was like, really? Me? Okay. But before I become your first lady of Prolific, we gotta fight first. Mm-hmm. You know, and mind you, I just came back. He had just saw my first match, which was not the best. Oh, not the best at all. We're not even gonna talk about it. We're just gonna, And so I remember he was just like, nah, get your reps up. You know what I'm saying? Like, take your time. I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to take my time. I want to jump back in the lava head first. Like, I hate when I get sidelined because of my health. You know? And so, like, when I come back, I'm trying to all gas, no brakes. You know what I'm saying? Yada I mean, shout out to my boy, Jacob Fatu. I'm so proud of you. I give my shout outs, bro. Like, I like to always give mad props because, you know, going off the rail for a second, seeing Fatu, like seeing Jacob on national TV, and he's killing it. Crazy. Like, and the main key is he's being himself. I love that for him. Like, I had the pleasure and honor to hang out with him during MLW and like a couple of other promotions that we like always been at. We could like kick issue to shit, and just seeing him there, like, it's like amazing thing. But back, I told him like, yo, we gotta wrestle, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't be a part of a group with my best friend and I can't wrestle you. He's like, nah. So he pissed me off. I'm not gonna hold you. He irritated the hell out of me, and I was like, bet. I'm just do a promo. He's like, do a promo. I was like, I will. Back to the crib, did the promo. Yeah. Uploaded it, went to sleep, woke up, it was like over 1,200 views. People's like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. What's going on? Like, how did we get here, bro? Mm-hmm. And it developed to where we literally did a whole feud for a year to where no promotion was safe. No promotion. Not one. Super Crazy wasn't safe. We Are Wrestling wasn't safe. Pro Wrestling Magic wasn't safe. CZW wasn't safe. Pro Wrestling R wasn't safe. RSW wasn't safe. No promotion was safe until we beat the hell out of each other and got back to our situation where we needed to do. So I don't want another group. Like, I told him that. Like, if I'm in this group, shit don't work out, that's it. Like, I'm not going into the group. I'm just be done, you know? And so even though I have wanted to punch every last one of them in their esophagus respectfully, I couldn't ask for a better crew. I couldn't ask for a better knuckleheads. Cause they'll tell you I annoy them. I don't care. Because I just be right and they don't want to admit it. Yeah, I said it. They don't want to admit it, bro. And it's fine. It's cool. But I love those guys very much. And every last person on here I would take a bullet for. To my last breath, I got every last one of their backs, you know? So to be in a group to where I was uplifted, and they had my back through every BS and all the things that I had to deal with. It was it's very refreshing to have real people in your circle, you know, instead of leaving people and worrying about what they're saying about you, you know. People always say that there's no friends in wrestling, which is bullshit. These are my friends. These are my family members. I love them to death. Even though we bump heads, I would never throw any of these people under a bus. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like, we get money together. If I shine, they shine with me, vice versa. You know, there's never been a place to where even when I started, and I was in the process of joining Prolific, you know, if I went somewhere, I made sure they was all there, you know, and if these two couldn't be there, I made sure that this person right here was always with me because he should be on TV. Like, I know this is about me, but he should be on TV because, like, he has the it, you know. Like, I know they say Carmelo Hayes is him, but he's him. Like, that ass, he's him. And so, like, that's been, like, me and him are closer. Me and these two are closer than anything. But, like, me and Tyree are close, but, like, me and him are closer because there's been a lot of stuff that I went through. And usually I just go through shit by myself. Yeah. And, like, he was, like, there and had my back and was like, yo, you know I don't do emotions, so I need you to get your shit together. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Okay. So I couldn't ask for a better group. I couldn't ask for a better knuckleheads. Our motto is pretty easy and simple. You know, like I said, we self-made, we get paid, we play spades.
Who's the best spade player?
Me. Okay. I said it. Prove me wrong. Okay? I've been the only person that's been playing here lately. Like, whoever you put me with, we play. Like, I've been trying to invite all of them. Yo, let's get together, let's play spades. He can't deal cards, so he's not allowed. He can't deal.
And you're pointing at
Tyree. Tyree cannot shuffle. I said what I said. He cannot. No. We keep the cards away from Tyree. We just give him the cards he need. You know what I'm saying? But no, I haven't had a chance to play with any of them in spades yet. But we're orchestrating it to get it situated. So
you went overseas.
Yes, I did. We both did.
Yeah, you and Isaiah both went overseas. You appeared on WXW, right? And then you also went to the UK, Germany, and Holland.
Yeah, it was in WXW, Pro Wrestling Holland, and PCW Preston UK. Yeah, it was by far ridiculously amazing. I didn't want to come back. At first, it didn't even look like I was going to be going because of just how things was going. And I remember I got really discouraged, and he was like, yo, we're going. We got this. And everything went good, and we finally got over there, and first thing that happened, I get sick. Allergies galore. My chronic skin disease flares up. Mm-hmm. I'm in the bed. I'm feeling like a piece of dog shit because I'm like, I came over here to wrestle. And, like, everything is, like, constrict. Oh, my God, I was going through it. It was the best and yet worst time ever. And I was just like, I was so sad, bro. Because I wanted to do so much more, but it was only so much that my body was allowing me to do. Mm-hmm. And I was feeling like I was letting people down. And like, depression is a motherfucker. Like, it was fucking me up so badly. But then I was blessed enough to wrestle in the Uberhausen. And that's something that I've always wanted to do, is wrestle in the turnbuckle Uberhausen, because I've seen all my friends wrestle there. And I got to. And I got to show them what that lariat do, you know. And did I put the win? I don't even give a shit. I lariat somebody overseas that wasn't in America. Winning. That means my lariat is international, goddammit. Let's go. I was excited. Like, I can't tell you how many times I cried. We stayed over there for a month. And Germany itself, we was in Gelsenkirchen, Germany. Like, they had these little scooters you can ride. Mm-hmm. Yo, for 20 miles an hour, them hoes be going. They was...
I was like, whoa, hold up, 20, kind of quick. Like,
I didn't know until I got on there, but I was like, that shit gonna be, oh, wow. Oh, this got some kick. Okay. All right. And then we went to Pro Wrestling Holland. So actually when I was wrestling Uberhausen, Wolf was wrestling in Amsterdam. No, he was wrestling in Holland, Amsterdam. Same thing. He was in between. He was wrestling over there. There were like 1,200 people. Like, it was at a skate park. So, like, he's killing it over there. I'm killing it over here. And it was just, bro, you know what? I saw myself a long time ago when I knew that I was going to lock in to be a professional wrestler, that I wanted to go overseas, and that I wanted to represent the United States, and I wanted to see if I had what it take, to last.
Mm-hmm.
Went over there, had a blast, did all the things that I could do. Didn't want to leave, bro.
Yeah.
Had a blast. Got to meet Sam Gradwell, who I've been I've been a huge fan of his ever since I saw him in NXT UK.
Yeah.
And so when I got to meet him, I was like, and he watched me wrestle, and I remember I came in back. He was like, "You are my favorite wrestler." I was like, and literally, if you go on my Twitter, you see I put Sam Gradwell's favorite wrestler, and he approves. He's like, "Yep, favorite wrestler." I was like, going overseas was one of the greatest times of my life, and the fact that I got to do it with my knucklehead best friend, it was good. You know what I'm saying? But he was there. We had a blast. We made titles, world titles, came back, and just kept showing our ass, man.
What are some of your proudest accomplishments in your career?
I finally got to wrestle Mercedes Martinez. And it's crazy because I don't think you really understand. This is not my first dream match. If people actually really did their homework on Ruthless Lala, how they said, people know that I wrestled Jazz. I wrestled Awesome Kong. I wrestled Thunder Rosa, Holly Dead, Crazy Mary Dobson, right before she got signed. Her and Ray Rowe, before he went with the Viking Raiders. I wrestled a lot of people, bro, and a lot of them was good matches, but it was the dream matches that I needed to progress. And people don't understand, like, for me, wrestling is a journey, and it's also a big puzzle, just like how life is. And in those things, it's a situation of, how do I want to be remembered when I leave? How do I want people to remember me when I leave? How do I want people to react when they hear my name? And so far, mention my name, people are like, ooh. She threw a mean lariat. And I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it. I used to watch Samoa Joe all the time. And that was also one of the people that I watched. So meeting him and becoming cool with him was like the best thing ever. But I would watch and I would just see how his demeanor was. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be like him too. Like that's what I'm gonna do. And so I used to always hear the Joe is gonna kill you. And I was like, yo, you know what? If I ever get to that part to where I can get the crowd to chant that, for me, that means I've made it, And it happened the first time, and I had to keep everything inside. Like, if you watch a couple of matches of mine, you see like my emotions, and you probably think, oh, yo, Lala's acting. I'm a big ass emotional baby. Like, I don't care. People know I'm emotional, but I'm very passionate about what I do. And I feel like if you feel like you can be in this passionate business and not have emotions, you're mad motherfucking mistaken. There's too much emotions that go into this business. There's too much emotions that you put into yourself to put into this business for you to just sit there and not care, And that's the thing about me, like you talk too much, yeah, but you hear what I say though when I talk. I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but at the same time, I'm me. And I ain't gonna change for nobody, I'm me, and I'm gonna continue to be me, and I'm gonna do me to the best of my abilities.
Thank you very much for taking the time to sit down.
Well, thank you for having me. Like, this is...
You're my buddy, my friend. I'm definitely getting a Christmas card this year.
Oh, gee. Appreciate that. So I could go. Well, no. Anything you would like to plug to the cameras?
Shout out to my peoples, my best friend Isaiah Wolf, my nephew Marcus Marquis, my hard-headed, knucklehead nephew Tyree Taylor, and I can't forget the wise brother A.R. Jones. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Smart Psychology Podcast, 808, Venom and Smoke Podcast, Go for the Pen Podcast, Public Enemy Podcast, Gresh Unleashed. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all for always giving me support massively. It means the most to me. I can keep going, but I won't, because I can though, but I won't. Maybe the next one I will. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Stay tuned.
Well, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, we out.